It's day 7, and overnight our ship cruised from Barcelona, Spain to Marseille, France. So now it's time to get out and see what we can see. All right, so we are on our way to Marseille, and we got off the port, but it's about a half hour to the city center. So that's where we're headed now. Are you guys ready? It's our shuttle bus from the MSC terminal, which is over there. So 7 degrees Celsius, it says. That's inside here. It's cold
6.
outside. It's like 0 outside.
I mean, it was 8 earlier.
Which means like 32 degrees. Our cruise ship docked, and there is no public transportation from where we docked to get to the Old Port, which is the place where you go in Marseille. And so we got on a shuttle bus. It took us to the World Trade Center, which is where we would have our meeting point. And there are a few different ways you can get around. There's the electric streetcars there, and also the metro. Well, we decided to use the metro, so we went down into the metro, and honestly, you don't really need to. If you want to walk about 10 minutes down to the Old Port, it's super easy, but we decided to try out the metro because we've gone on most of them in Europe now, and it was just one stop, but it was fun to try out and see what the differences are between the different countries and their metro. Our plan was to go to the Old Port, get on a boat, and go see the Chateau d'If. It is a prison in France that was made popular by Alexander Dumas in his book The Count of Monte Cristo. The only problem is it's Sunday, so we were not actually able to do that. But we did, of course, get crepes, because you're in France, you just have to get a crepe. And this was a really cute stand on the corner right across from the Old Port. So we got to watch them make it. I thought you might enjoy this, to see an authentic crepe made. I believe we got a crepe with Nutella and some egg crepes because it was breakfast time. Now, I also had some of the best coffee I've probably ever had, and come to find out later, it's actually a brand made right there in Marseille, and it's called Henry Blanc coffee. I don't know, I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, but I still have not been able to find out how to get coffee beans from this, but I would love to someday because it was amazing cappuccinos that we had there. On a super cold day in France, the best thing to have are these nice hot crepes. You can see them there, and let's see what the kids thought of the crepes.
Crepes today? Me too. Becky, you like it? Cool.
Across the street there was a market, so we were super excited because it's December and we are not in Germany anymore, so we did not get to see the Christmas markets in Germany this year. But we thought this French Christmas market was very similar. So we definitely went to check it out, and this was a really cute little train they had running, Santa and his reindeer. My kids are too big for it, but there were some adults on it too, so maybe we should have let them ride. Of course, you know, one thing we definitely had to sample was the food, and here these were really good. They were like a donut. We got some that had apples in them, and it was really cool also to get to watch them make it. One of them that we had was actually a potato donut as well, which was reminiscent for us of, well, at least for me, growing up in Pennsylvania, and the Fosnots that they made. It was very similar to that. As you can tell, the kids were also super excited to try them, and they were delicious and hot. There were some very creative vendors, and as you see here, some people even dressed up in costumes for pictures. One other thing that we thought actually reminded us a lot of the Christmas market that we saw in Barcelona was they had a lot of nativity scene figurines for sale, hand-painted, handmade, that you could make your own nativity set. It was really creative and something that we really enjoyed. After we finished at the Christmas market, we went down to the Old Port, and sadly it was Sunday, so they did not have a boat out to the Chateau d'If, so we did not get to see it. We decided to make the best of it, and we walked down the street because we read that there was an old fort.
Welcome back, we're in Marseille, France, and we were checking out Fort St. John This fort was built in 1660 by Louis XIV, and according to the tourism websites, it was not built to keep out invaders, but to squelch the rebellion that was happening. King Louis was famous for spending a lot of money, so that could have been one of the reasons. So this fort has been standing here for many, many years. It was actually taken over during World War II by the Germans for a little while. Let's check it out.
David did a whole video on this fort, so I definitely recommend that you go see it on our YouTube channel. I will put a link in the description here and you can check it out. I'll just give a few highlights right here. We really enjoyed it. It had amazing views and a lot of history that you can see. We didn't buy tickets, but you can just wander around. We couldn't stay very long because we needed to get back to our shuttle, but I thought it was interesting that they had this beautiful big building that had a facade on it with cutouts, and it seemed like the facade was made out of cement, which I thought was really creative and just an art piece in and of itself. Across the street there was a beautiful old church. It was a Saint Laurent and Saint Catherine church, which it would have been neat to tour, but I don't think they were giving tours that day. Again, it was a Sunday. We decided to walk instead of taking the metro back, and on one of the sidewalks we found this cute little car. We didn't try it out, but it looked like you could just rent the car through an app on your phone, and much like a scooter, honestly. And I was very intrigued by it, so if you want to check it out, you can look it up here, and maybe it's in a big city near you. Along the way, we passed a free borrowing library, and we even saw some sobering things like this monument here. It was a tribute to locals who had actually died in the Holocaust. So one last stop before we get back to the World Trade Center, there was a Starbucks that we passed, so we had to go inside and see what was different between that and the ones we've seen in Germany and Italy. And it was very much the same, although they had some really, really yummy looking pastries in there. Well, it was time to go back to the World Trade Center and get on the shuttle bus. Make sure you finish your coffee beforehand though, because we had to finish ours fast. It was not allowed on the bus. So it's time to get back onto the ship. The ship is going to be sailing overnight to Genoa because it will be day 8 and we will be disembarking in the morning. Just a heads up, if you're thinking, hey, this is vacation, I like to sleep in, just remember when it's disembarkation day, it is time to get up early and get breakfast before you have to go to your meeting point. So that's what we did. We got up pretty early. Actually, when we were getting up, we were entering the port at Genoa. And so we went down with all of our luggage. We had to move out of our room, make sure we had everything with us. We got our breakfast, and then our last breakfast on the ship was really yummy, and we're glad that we got up early enough to go and enjoy it. And then we had to go to the public area that we were assigned to. On our tickets, it told us where to go. We did not have to bring all of our luggage because the porters brought the big luggage out. We just had to carry our carry-ons and head out to Genoa. Remember, our car is parked at our hotel, so we have to walk to that. But first we have to pick up all of our luggage and kind of bring that along. We stayed very close to the port, which was really nice because even though we had to walk, we could have taken an Uber. It just seemed like it wasn't necessary. We were sad to come to the end of our cruise, but now we have been bitten by the cruise bug and want to know, where do you think we should go next? We'll see you in our next video. Ciao!
Alright, so we're in Marseilles, France today, and what are we in? Alright, so we're in Marseilles, France today, and where are we?
A Christmas market.
We found a Christmas market. Just walking down the street, thought it was awesome. There's a ton of really cool stuff. They have Christmas ornaments over here we really like. They have churros, they have apple pancakes and apple desserts, stuff like that. They have spiced wine. Sadly, nothing that we've found yet is non-alcoholic, but we'll keep looking. It's some really cool stuff here, and we just happened upon it. So, what happens when you explore?